Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor program. Today I'd like to take a quick look at how the 3-minute DAX, this is a chart of the DAX index, DAX future over here in Europe on a 3-minute chart. I'd just like to take a look at how it unfolded yesterday, as this is a great example of how to spot and then how to trade the automatic trade setups. These are the ones that come on these charts, these TS labels. So if I scroll back to the beginning of yesterday, this is where yesterday started, January the 31st. As you can see, the market dropped down here, no setups. Red STF indicates the trend's down. Market then makes a rally back up. It then comes across here and does a ABC setup into a TS3 buy. If I go back here, you can see at the time the STF was black, which indicated the trend was neutral, therefore standard traders could consider this setup. We put the analysis on by going right mouse click, select automatic analysis, click on the bar in question, which is here, and it gives us our position size to keep our risks small under control. So here it was advising to go long 4 contracts at this level, and our stop trigger would be here. Market moves forward, takes us into a long position, and then starts to go up nicely. As we then go forward, we then reach the, if I go back one bar, we then reach the first, whoops, a daisy, missed that one on my mouse again. We reach the first projected target, but if I look at the STF, which you can see here, the STF is what we call is weak. In other words, the STF hasn't quite reached its strength band, which is this grey band here. Therefore, we suggest that standard traders should look to bank the profit at the first target. So as you can see here, this would have put in a very nice plus 6.2R profit at this level. Again, you have to remember that we look at profits and losses in terms of risk units. So the profit here at 2,400 euros was approximately 6 or just over 6 times greater than the initial risk of 400. So a good trade there for a good 6R profit. Market then moves forward. We then make it a high very nicely at that projected target. Market then declines back down again. We then come up and we get a sell setup here. If I put the analysis on, it's a TS1 sell, but if you look at the STF down here, the STF is actually blue. So this would be against the STF, therefore standard traders should not consider this. Unless there's a valid reason for considering it and you're a slightly more advanced trader, you could look to perhaps take this short trade, but for standard traders against the STF you shouldn't consider it unless there's a very good reason. As it turned out, the market moved sideways. It made a double top, so this trade wouldn't have been stopped out if you're in it. It was a double top here. The market then actually declined down. It actually declined down into a TS4 buy setup. Now this TS4 buy setup was against a black STF, therefore it's a good one for standard traders to consider. But if you're an advanced trader and you'd taken this one, you could have had a small 1.8R profit. But let's go back and let's just put the analysis on. If I do the analysis on this new setup, it gives you the position size again to keep the constant risk small and under control. Do you see this time? It's suggesting we only take 2 contracts. It's because the initial the number of ticks for this entry was slightly larger than our last one, but this is what position sizing is all about. It actually means you size your position to keep your constant risk the same. In other words, small and constant. So that's what position sizing is all about. Here's our first target up at the top here, projected in advance. We then go forward. Forward. We then come up to this target very, very nicely. Here the STF is below the strength band. So just as in the other example, we then look to bank our profits at the target because the STF is indicating that the trend will not continue. Odds on it's going to make a high at this level and then decline off. So it's best to bank your profits and say thank you very much. So that would be a very nice plus 2.9R. The market then moves forward, and as you can see, that actually leaves that as the high there absolutely beautifully. The market carries on, moves down, wiggles around, doesn't really do much for the rest of the day, and that's the close of the day there. So if I squish this chart up to see the whole of the day, take the STF down a bit, if I can get a hold of it with my mouse, there we go, take that down a bit. So you can see overall it was quite a good day. In fact, it was a very good day. This was actually Jan the 31st, in that we had one TS3 buy set up there against a black STF, so it was valid, that came out, and as we saw, made a 6.2R. TS1 sell, even though it made a bit of money, was not ideal for standard traders, but advanced traders could consider it. And then at the end here we had a nice little trade up into this high here, which actually nailed the high absolutely beautifully for a TS4 buy here, again in line with our STF. So overall, a very, very good day for traders there, and as such shows how the automatic setups work in the software, and as such a very good day.